I haven't told him about the fertility issues that I faced in the past. I'm very nervous about telling him because he had baby fever. Yesterday, this is the first ovulation day. We accomplished the goal, 1 fish. So today, that is the next day of my ovulation, 2 fish.
Why 2 fish?
Because we have to make love twice. That you have to do it 4 times because it's a higher day. It's super important.
I'll need my blue pills that day.
So for 6 days, we have to make love 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times. It was very hard for me to conceive my...
Boom. Listen, we need to talk about this one real quick, okay? First and foremost, obviously, I'm not a woman. Obviously, I don't know too much about, pregnancy, how all that works. But I'm not buying this. No, because, Jasmine, we know that she loves intercourse. She loves it. But we also know that Gino is whatever about it, okay? All right? Which is definitely a weird balance for them to have. So for me personally, I do feel like Jasmine is taking this opportunity to try and convince Gino that they need to be intimate way much more mostly for her benefit rather than the benefit of them actually having a child. That's how I took this scene itself in particular, because really and truly, I'm just sitting there thinking most guys would be happy with that, but boy. But let's just continue. It's funny stuff.
My son, JC. Make love 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times. It was very hard for me to conceive my son, JC. It was very hard. Something like that. I even had to go through hormonal treatment. I always knew from the very beginning of our relationship that Gino wanted to have kids, but I didn't know that, hey, I struggled with fertility before. I'm scared that it will affect also my relationship with Gino.
Isn't it fascinating that each time we see Jasmine, there's always new information that we're learning? Not always, but you know how she always brings some new information. So she's known that Gino wanted kids this whole time, but then she made it clear that she did want kids at one point, even though she knew he wanted kids. But then is now okay, do you know what? We will try for a kid. But then now talking about how she's obviously nervous about how this may ruin their relationship because it ruined her past relationship. There's a lot of inconsistency in what she's saying, because you see, if she was worried about her not being able to have kids was going to ruin her relationship with Gino, well then therefore should have never told Gino to begin with that she didn't want kids, because that's something that she definitely said in their previous season. And then obviously in this season she then changed her mind, ironically. Honestly, how this woman hasn't been tested for something like freaking bipolar or something blows my mind. That's not me diagnosing her. I'm just saying she may need to go and get checked up, because the way her mind switches left and right, up and down, east to west, south to north, west to southwest, east, west, it's like, damn, girl, what's going on? Just keep up, what's going on? But let's continue. But it is a very difficult thing for a woman to go through a process where it is hard for them to conceive. When a woman wants to have kids and it is hard, I can't imagine how annoying and how sad that information is, you see what I'm saying? But the good thing is, at least Jasmine did say, for me personally, I learned something new. I learned that if a woman is struggling, then she can do what she did by taking that thing that allows her to, be more highly to get pregnant.
I have to receive daily an injection. It was very traumatic for me.
They have kids here just like Jasmine does, but right now I don't have the money to pay for a lawyer to do the paperwork for her children.
Now the processing times is...
That's it, the injection, my apologies. But I'm going to go back and look a bit here, because this is where it gets interesting. First and foremost, my man left his job. And now he's... I don't know how you can leave a job and then complain about money.
They have kids here just like Jasmine does, but right now I don't have the money to pay for a lawyer to do the paperwork for her children.
Now the processing times is going to be, on average, 8 to 12 months. You have everything together and address all the issues. It's going to make sure that everything goes a lot quicker. So, Gino, were both the kids listed on the fiancé petition?
I did not have the children on the K-1 petition. The idea, I thought, was to bring Jasmine over and then have her children follow. Can I put both her children on adjustment of status and file it with her children on there?
That status allows you to adjust a status. You have to have one before you can adjust it.
The grand scheme of things, that Gino messed up big time, because Jasmine for seasons upon seasons was begging him to get a lawyer so therefore they can do the process properly and therefore the process could be quicker. But he refused to pay for a lawyer because he didn't want to spend any more money and he wanted to do everything by himself, which is completely fine. But guess what, buddy? You've now messed up. I mean, there's one point where the lawyer even mocked him. He said, "Did Google not tell you that?" And that is this part here when it talks about what type of visa you needed to apply for. That also involves, being able to bring kids. And, obviously because Gino didn't do that, the lawyer was like, oh, so I guess Google didn't tell you that, right? And to be fair, the lawyer had every right to freaking mock him because, he should have really gone to a lawyer, you know what I mean? He didn't have to go for a lawyer for the whole process, but he could at least gone on for advices here and there, you know what I mean? But at the same time, though, to be honest with you, if I'm in this position here, would I get a lawyer or would I want to just do it all by myself? To be honest with you, I would probably, if I'm trying to rush it and I'm trying to find a loophole, I would get a lawyer. If I'm not trying to rush and I'm not trying to find a loophole, then obviously I'd probably do it all by myself, this is what I'm saying. But in this situation, Gino should have definitely got a lawyer because children were involved as well. And he definitely should have at least gone through it once he found out how the kids part works. He didn't do that, he neglected that bit. So yeah.
Can't adjust it. She has a status, the K1 status, that allows her to adjust or change it to a green card status. You want to include everyone on that petition, get that approved, and then later when they're ready, you just contact the National Visa Center and say, hey, we're ready to go. It's going to be impossible to, bring them over. Looking at the immigrant petition and then getting the immigrant visas to bring them over. We charge about $5,000, that includes your filing fees, to represent you for the next 12 to 14 months. It's going to take a little bit longer though. Hopefully it goes sooner, but it could be 1.5 to 2 years.
Ooh-wee. Hear that information and hurt Jasmine. You know it did. God damn. The thing that I really disliked the most about this scene is how inconsiderate Gino was with his emotions.
If I would have had both on the petition, we would have been good.
Absolutely.
How am I going to tell you that it might take about 2 years to come here?
So Jasmine is now being put in a position where she feels that it may be better, for her to just up and leave and, go back to Panama and be with her children because, being in a position where her kids are now going to be estranged from her for about nearly 2 years, that is not healthy. And the saddest thing about it is that that's with the help of a lawyer as well. Okay. So it seems to me as if Jasmine has choices to make. I'd say one of them is to either go back to Panama and just, I guess, be there all the time with her kids, which obviously isn't necessarily something that's possible per se, because obviously, even though the lawyer said that, yes, she can leave the States to go back to Panama and see her kids, she still can't come back with them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and so it's still a bit sticky, isn't it? Or two, I guess she just commutes back and forth as much as you can. I mean, I'm pretty sure the kids will be able to come over to see her every now and then, though, on like a visa of some kind, maybe a visitor's visa. I'm not too sure, but obviously that's something that was spoken about. But the main thing is that Gino is the one that's messed up here because he thought he could do everything by himself, and he pretty much was selfish about the situation. And to be fair, Gino does say at the very beginning, and I do remember, I believe it was around about this mark here, and that's it. Well, I hope that I put this into the video, to be fair.
They have kids here just like Jasmine does, but right now I don't have the money to pay for a lawyer to do the paperwork for her children.
Now the process.
Yeah, I seem to have missed that bit out, but Gino does add on there about how also, he hasn't got any money. Obviously, that they've gone to see a lawyer just to get free advice, but also at the same time, they won't be getting a lawyer because they've just paid for their wedding, and also they are now trying for a baby. So obviously, Gino has plans to put his desire to have kids financially above getting Jasmine's kids to the States. Here's the thing. Jasmine and Gino always have a problem with with many things. But one of the main things is communication. Honestly, he's doing one thing, she's doing another thing. I mean, listen, it is going to be sad to see if Jasmine is obviously unable to see her kids for at least up to 2 years. You know what I mean? But at the same time, though, that is up to 2 years with a lawyer. If they're unable to get a lawyer, then it could easily be longer than that. But I guess, we'll soon find out what's going to happen. But I will say this, though, even though this is only episode 2, this already tells me that we are probably going to see Jasmine and Gino back again for another season at some point. Because if anything, I doubt the whole kid thing can be resolved throughout this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if they drag the whole kid storyline into another season with these two. So we might as well just buck on and we might as well just live with the reality that they're probably going to be for the following season. But with that being said, though, let me know your thoughts and opinions, and I will say this as well. So far, we have not been advertised when it comes to Angela and Michael. My thoughts and opinions on it is that I wouldn't be excited too soon to think that those two are not going to be a part of the season, because as of late in the last 3 or 4 seasons, last two to 3 seasons of 90 Day Fiancé, I have noticed that there's been some couples that have been brought into the season halfway through. So it could easily be a case of where their relationship may still be a part of this season, but they may not be put in it until further notice. So let's just not, get too excited about Mike and Angela not being it just yet. But nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below, and we can most certainly talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You're on the road to 60K subscribers by the end of April. And yeah, peace.